The teenage brain. Think back to when you were entering high school. Did you have trouble getting up in the morning? Did your teachers think you were moody? Did your parents think you had turned into an alien? These changes in your behavior were probably because you were a teenager and your brain was playing havoc with your life. Let's start with waking up in the morning. This is often a source of conflict and aggravation for teenagers and parents. In this case, science is on teens' side. Researchers have found that the body's sleep-wake cycle is governed by something called our circadian clock. This determines when our body is ready to fall asleep and when it is ready to wake up. During the teenage years, the circadian clock shifts forward about 4 hours. For example, the child who used to go to bed at 8:30 p.m. and rise at 6 a.m. now wants to stay up past midnight and sleep in until 10 a.m. This change puts teens' sleep cycles out of sync with the sleep habits of the rest of their family. If teens are forced to get up at the same time as everyone else, then they begin to build up a sleep debt. Researchers speculate that this sleep deprivation may provide one explanation for why teens feel unable to concentrate at home or stay alert at school and are generally bad-tempered. Lack of sleep also has serious consequences with respect to learning. During sleep, we rehearse all of the learning from our day and assign it to long-term memory. Without enough sleep, we aren't able to learn effectively. Research is providing provisional insights into other areas of teenage brain development too. Until recently, many researchers believed that most important brain development took place in the womb and during the first 3 years of life. However, a large-scale study of 145 children and adolescents carried out by Dr. J. Good and colleagues at the National Institute for Mental Health has shown that the teenage years are also an important period for brain development. We know that the brain grows like a tree. Just before puberty, the brain overproduces lots of new brain cells. Then, during the teenage years, it prunes away any cells that are unused. This trimming of brain cells has prompted scientists to propose a use it or lose it theory of brain development. Gide believes that which leisure activities teens participate in during these years, from playing video games to undertaking more demanding hobbies such as photography and karate, determine which connections survive into adulthood. Meanwhile, in Boston, researchers in the laboratories at McLean Hospital are carrying out exploratory research on how the teen brain processes facial expressions. Teens and adults were asked to view a series of pictures showing a variety of facial expressions. The researchers found that the teens use a different part of the brain than the adults when processing the pictures. This resulted in them misreading the emotions being expressed. Teen brains showed more activation in the brain circuits that respond emotionally. In other words, the teens' responses were more like gut reactions. Adults, on the other hand, process the facial expressions using the prefrontal part of the brain. This area is responsible for the executive functions of the brain, including planning, decision-making, reasoning, and judgment. The researchers speculate that this area regulates the more emotional part of the brain and helps to control reactions. The fact that the teen brain is not interacting with the emotional region in the same way as the adult brain could provide clues to understanding adolescent behavior. Therefore, rather than expecting teenagers to act like grown ups, parents and caretakers need to be aware that teenage brains process the world differently than adult brains. While brain researchers are full of enthusiasm regarding these new findings, they are also quick to caution against translating them into educational policies or new teaching fads without first considering whether this is truly justified. One point that all researchers agree on is that the most constructive thing adults can do to ensure healthy brain development in their children is to spend loving quality time with them.